Hello. So, this is gonna be me doing an opening for the video in just this weird angle. This video is going to be kind of like an April vlog, and it's a little bit all over the place, just little snippets of things that have happened throughout this month, and happy moments, lots of fur baby moments, and stuff in between. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoy this video and all of its randomness and getting a sneak peek into parts of my life and a lot of the chattiness. So grab yourself your favorite cozy beverage, maybe a blanket depending on what time of the day you're watching this at, and I can't wait to hang out with you all. Bye. So we are filming with my phone. I don't have a memory card big enough on my camera right now. I mean, technically I probably would, but there's some old footage on there that I really do want to keep, and I can't get myself to get rid of it. But anyway, so one of the things that I'm doing right now is I am reading an arc. I have so many arcs that I am trying to catch up on, and I might have mentioned this in my previous video. I think I have at least 5 that need to be done by April, the end of April, and I've already missed the publish date for a couple of them. I need to get my reviews up ASAP. But yeah, I'm reading this really cute rom-com one, and it kind of reminds me of Leap Year, which was an adorable movie that I got to watch with one of my best friends. And yeah, it's kind of like a Pakistani version of Leap Year to a certain extent, but there's just some similarities with it, with like someone that is the sunshine and then, you know, the grumpy person, just that trope, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I was struggling at first to go and read it, and then found that I guess like 10 pages in or so, it's on my Kindle, so it's hard to say how many pages in I am, but I'm very much enjoying it, so I will keep you updated and let you know. Also, yes, I am wearing a Joker from Suicide Squad t-shirt. I am currently in my pajamas. We were out and about today going and bringing some clothes to a thrift store because I wanted to try something other than Plato's Closet since they never seem to take my clothes. So I went with this place instead, and they took 5 clothes out of 3 trash bags, and I got $21 out of it, which was nice. But yeah, I was all dressed up, and then I just really wanted to take a shower, so my idea of filming and talking and everything just kind of didn't happen. But I mean, how realistic is this? I'm in my glasses, no makeup, my hair's still wet from the shower, and I'm in my PJs. No one's, you know, made up 24/7, so yeah, just had to go and add that. So Nugget and I are currently waiting in the car. Charles is getting us some Chiba Hut, but I had a great day. I had coffee with my best friend and got to go and ask her to be my maid of honor, and she said yes. So that was really awesome. We had a great time going and catching up. And yeah, like I said, we had coffee. I think I had a bagel too, just to get a little bit of food, and just had some fun time going and talking about wedding planning, stuff like that. Sorry, someone showed up and I felt embarrassed and put away my phone. But yeah, we had a great time going and talking about some wedding stuff, some things that I have been thinking about with Charles, just like rough planning because we haven't fully solidified anything, but just our idea for certain things. And then yeah, went and drove back home, and like I said, now we're going and waiting for Charles to come back with some Chiba Hut because we're hungry. I have a little bit of a headache. Last night had some great time playing Nightingale with some friends online, but then kind of started feeling a headache coming on when I went to bed, and then woke up and unfortunately the headache was still there. So probably gonna take it easy today, might do some video editing. We're probably not gonna do any weed pulling this morning just because we're both feeling pretty sore. So yeah, probably taking it easy, and very excited to have the Chiba Hut sandwich. But yeah, that's all the update here. Talk to you soon. know that it's... Huh? No. But we're gonna go and get some pho. I know it's warm out, but I've been wanting it, so yeah.
This just sounds good.
And we've never actually gotten pho on a date together, so...
It was that, or I was gonna push for some Korean fried chicken.
Oh, Korean fried... Blah, blah, blah. Korean fried chicken is so good.
We got a place nearby, too.
There's a place nearby that we really enjoy. And I don't think we've ever ate there physically in person, but...
it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
There's some ramen.
Oh, ramen's good too.
It's really good too.
But yeah, so it's kind of been a full day for us. We went and pulled weeds. Nope, stay. Okay. This is how we are on the road. But anyway, we went and pulled weeds this morning. Our front yard is finally weed free, so hopefully that guy will chill. Yeah, so we're going to get pho, and I'm trying to think of what else we did this morning.
We talked to That's
who we talked to.
Who is most likely going to be our photographer for the wedding.
So I won a giveaway. I just went and entered it not long after we got engaged, and it was a $500 certificate for photos. And I wasn't sure if they were for engagement photos or for wedding, but they're for wedding photos, and we can apply them to any of her photo packages. But apparently engagement photos are complimentary, which is so freaking awesome.
And then she acts essentially like a wedding planner.
In a way, yeah, she'll help look for venues. She said that she'll help go and schedule things, and she also has, this channel is going to be PG, but it's called an oh crap kit, basically. So it's kind of like any sort of thing that goes wrong, like you need band-aids, you need a sewing kit, anything like that, she'll have them. Which for me, who's always prepared, and the mama bear of groups, very much loves that idea. So we were absolutely in love with her. So we have a follow-up call, which is going to be a video call on Tuesday, and we're very excited to see how that goes.
And excuse the tiredness on my end. I didn't sleep well last night.
No, he hasn't been sleeping well for a while. Yay, being an elementary school counselor during standardized testing. Yeah. But anyway, that's just kind of a little update. Maybe we'll talk to you soon. We'll see.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Got it. Nope.
Trying to find some stuff. Hello again. We are back. Rose is very tired and sore from the weed pulling this morning.
And she's being mean and calling me an old timer.
Because he is. I did not realize that the pho we got was his first time having pho. So that was really exciting.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Now I want to take a nap.
Yeah, we're a little bit full now, so we're heading home. We went to Target, and yeah, successful day. We are going to veg out for the rest of the day. We also got some fun drinks, but I don't want to pull them out because we're in a car and moving. So maybe I'll show it later. So we are home now and exhausted. A little bit of a food coma, but here's the drink that I was mentioning earlier. It's called the Herbal Boba Mess, and I'm really excited. It has like basically the jellies, has some different seeds in it, and then some pudding, and then the base is mango, which I love. So I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, and then we will see how it tastes. So I'm very excited. Usually I go with taro or something like that when it comes to drinks, but this one was too pretty to pass up. And got the little straw in there. It's so good. Holy crap. This is really, really good. Super refreshing. I love it. Oh my god. Okay. So that's really, really good. I really love drinks that have, you know, like something inside of it, like the pudding or the boba. I think it makes the drink more fun to drink and enjoy. So I'm very excited about that. Also, I picked up this, I think it's called a lip stain, no, tinted lip treatment, and it's by Tower 28, and the color is in Ube Vanilla. Honestly, like, I didn't need this, but I had to pick it up because Ube. Honestly, I'm not upset about it, but it seems like Ube is becoming so popular now, and honestly, like, that's a huge win for the Filipinos. Like, Ube is so good. So anyway, I'll put a little bit on just so you can kind of see it. It's really pretty. So I might have got too much, but it smells so nice too. I'm making a mess. But yeah, it's just like this really pretty brownish purple color, which I like. I'm more of like a mauve or browns color when it comes to colors that I put on my lips. So I'm very happy with it. It's so pretty, and like I said, it smells amazing. So little purchase that I got myself. I'm probably going to spend part of my day going and working on editing some of my videos just so I can get them out this week. And I also need to do a lot of reading on my Kindle. I'm reading One by One by Frida McFadden, and I got it as an ARC. I think 60% of the way through the book now, and it's really good. It's starting to hit one of the intense moments, so I'm excited to see where this goes. And then I'm probably going to pick up a book either from my April TBR list or look at one of the arcs I need to finish reading or start reading. So yeah, just a little update, and I'll talk to you again soon. Just doing a little check-in. Today we're apparently going to have an eclipse, but I don't know necessarily if Colorado is supposed to get the full eclipse or only partial, so we shall see. But I'm kind of keeping Nugget upstairs so she doesn't risk going downstairs and looking outside while it happens. Usually she has free reign of the house right now, but with the eclipse happening and everything like that, I'm keeping her with me just to protect her. I'm also keeping my fingers crossed that we'll be able to go for a walk tonight with Nugget after Charles is off work. The last time we went for a walk, I think, was Thursday, and unfortunately it wasn't that great of a walk. I really do love going on walks, not just for Nugget, but also for us to get out of the house. And most of the time we usually come across people that also have their dogs on a walk, but this last time we went wasn't great. There was actually this mom that was walking her golden doodle with her daughters, and Charles is walking Nugget, and he's just kind of putting his grip a little bit lower on her just to keep her right by his side. Well, the lady, she tried to do something similar with her dog, and I guess her dog caught her off guard. She wasn't properly like balanced, and all of a sudden like the dog just pulled and the lady fell on the ground. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? So I went to go in and try to help her. The daughters got a hold of the dog. They were probably in elementary school, they weren't that old. I was trying to go and help the lady out, and then all of a sudden I hear that dog growl at Nugget. Well, you know, mama bear instincts, because like all my fur babies are my babies, you know, like I'm their mom. So I got nervous and suddenly, you know, didn't think about the lady anymore. I was like, oh my god, how is Nugget doing? Is she okay? And yeah, like the little girls were trying to like pull the dog back, and you know, were saying like no to their dog, and Nugget was being so good. She was, you know, staying right behind Charles. Charles was kind of in between that dog and Nugget. Nugget was just kind of being very passive, like, what's going on? I'm not sure why this dog is growling at me. And then the lady kind of pulled herself up, and I was like, ma'am, are you okay? Because at that moment I saw like Nugget was fine, and the lady did end up pulling herself back up into a standing position and did take the dog back from her daughters. The daughters were like, mom, are you okay? And the lady like obviously was very embarrassed, and she's like, it's okay, I'm fine. She ended up walking away. And while Charles and I, normally we usually go towards the end of this path and then we turn around and walk back. Yeah, so I was just frazzled, and I was like, can we go the long way? Because I don't want to, you know, turn around and end up going and walking back into them. My anxiety was flared up and I didn't want to deal with that. And so we continued walking.
walking, and then at one point I think Nugget was having a sniff break, and I happened to turn around and I saw that the mom and her 2 daughters were starting to walk back. So I was like, okay, come on Nugget, let's pick it up, let's keep going, because I don't want to have, not a kind of confrontation, because I'm sure there wouldn't have been one, but I just was frazzled after that situation. So long story short, I'm really hoping that we don't have to deal with that again if we do get to go on a walk later today. I did look things up, and it was saying that the eclipse is supposed to be from 11:20 to 1:30. Looking outside, there's not any change. It still looks pretty bright, but it might be doing the part where it's like, you know, starting to kind of cross, and then shadows will eventually come like once it reaches the crossing point, which I think is supposed to be around 12:30. If I looked at things correctly. So yeah, we'll definitely see you there. I'm also making a list of different video ideas for Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month. I have like a really cute idea for a couple of shorts that I can put on TikTok and on Reels on Instagram. And then I have another one where I'm gonna do an interview with my fiance. He does not know this yet, but I'm sure he'll agree to it. And it will just be a series of questions that I go and ask him regarding my limb differences and what his thoughts were. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. And then probably tonight I will work on editing one of my other videos where it's the books that I hope to read during the month of April. So we'll see how that goes. And I know yesterday we ended up telling you we had a conversation with a wedding photographer, one that I won $500 certificate. We're gonna have a call with her tomorrow over Zoom, so I'm very excited to see how that goes. She was so nice. I absolutely loved her energy, and I've looked at her portfolio and it looks amazing. So I'm just excited to get the ball rolling there. It's kind of funny that we're gonna have photos figured out before like a venue and all those other things for the wedding. So little update there. And if we take Nugget on a walk, I'm hoping to get a little video of her because her ears like do this really cute flopsy thing, and it just is such a huge serotonin boost. It's me again. I forgot to give a little bit of an overview with the book one by one. So right now I am, I think, past the 70% point of the book, and it's really good. It's kind of reminding me of this movie that I watched yesterday on Prime Video called Animal. And right now with One by One, I'm kind of getting similar vibes that like there's some sort of creature that they're running into, or maybe it's this other person, because right now there's 2 points of view. One is Claire and one is Anonymous. I can assume that Anonymous might be this potential killer that's offing each person, or this person that's anonymous turns into some sort of creature and is doing these killings. So I'm interested to see where things go from there. But yeah, I figured I should probably give a little bit of a description about what the book is about because I haven't really talked about it too much besides the fact that I need to read it.
Good girl.
Hopefully you're not too annoyed by me going and filming a bit on my phone. It's just been a little bit easier lately, especially like when Charles and I have gone out and we've done a few things. It's just been a lot easier to be on my phone versus carrying around a camera, but I just thought I would check in and do a quick update. So you're gonna see that Charles and I did end up taking Nugget on a walk, which was very exciting, and I got some floppy ear content, so hopefully that brings a little bit of serotonin to you. However, when Charles and I were going on the walk, I ended up seeing a dead deer. With me, I've always been very observant, so I tend to look around. I just realized I don't have my ring on, whoops. But I tend to go and look around, check out my surroundings. And a lot of the time that's very helpful because I'll usually let Charles know if there's some dog crap that's on the ground. Unfortunately, lots of people don't pick up after their dogs on this trail. And I did tell Charles, I'm like, what if like we were out walking and we saw an owner that's dog was going to the bathroom and they were about to walk away, and I could say, oh, hey, I have some poop bags if you need them. And he's like, that's so passive aggressive. I love it. I don't know if I'd actually have the guts to do it, but just thinking about it made me chuckle because depending on the day, I could see how I'd be brave enough to go and actually say something like that to someone. But anyway, usually when we're out walking, I'll notice, you know, if there's something like that. So we make sure Nugget doesn't, you know, sniff it or doesn't eat it, because unfortunately dogs do that, which is so gross. Or I'll like see something like broken glass on the trail. You know, I'm very observant. I tend to look around and see stuff like that. And unfortunately, yeah, I saw a deer that was no longer alive. So Charles and I, we're still gonna go walking on that trail, but I think we're gonna go a different direction, because the trail that we go on, it has a few different paths, and we just have usually taken this one path. But since we've had 2 unfortunate moments in less than a week, just with that one lady going and falling, and that aggressive dog, and then now a deer that's been passed away. So yeah, that's the unfortunate update regarding our walk yesterday. It was nice to take Nugget on a walk, see her flopsy ears in action, but yeah. So we're probably going to take the different path. I also did finish reading 2 books from NetGalley. One of them is an audiobook, and I was loving the book until the end. The last hour or so in the book, it was so painful. It was so annoying. I just really don't like wishy-washy characters, I guess. And the character was like saying, I love my husband. And then the next minute was like, I don't love my husband. I can't trust him. How can I trust him? He's telling me all these different things. And I'm like, okay, well, which way is it? And then, I don't know. I feel like parts of the ending were super, super rushed. So yeah, I'm probably gonna rate that one lower than I initially thought. And I do need to go and film a review for TikTok because it was through NetGalley. And then the other one was my first Frida McFadden book, and I was not disappointed. I loved it so, so much. So I have one book that's like around a 3-star read, and then the other that I'll probably say like a 4.7. It was pretty high up there, and I really, really did enjoy it. And especially with thinking like, oh, okay, everything's figured out in the end. And then all of a sudden, like the last page, there's like a little what if moment. It's like, oh, so it was really, really good. But yeah, that's a little update here. Again, sorry that I've been doing little recordings on my phone, but it's just a little bit more convenient, especially going out and about for vlogs and stuff. So hopefully that's okay. I do still plan on using my camera for stuff.
All right, so I got one video already posted today, which I'm very excited for. That was my April TBR. And honestly, it was the most painful thing to edit. I struggled even in filming with just getting my words together. And then when I was trying to put it together and edit it and everything, it just was kind of chonky. It just, some parts didn't flow. I couldn't get my words together. So anyway, that's done. And I think the bloopers part of it was probably my favorite. I got some really goofy moments. And so now what I'm going to go and do is, I haven't filmed anything for limb difference. Nuggie is squeaking. I might have to remove that. But I haven't filmed anything for Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month, just like a nice full out video that is solely focused on that for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to go and film something there real quick. And yeah, by the time I finish that, I might get some reading in. I love that the weather's getting warmer, but oh, my allergies are just going berserk, especially like with the appointments I've been having where I need to use an inhaler and figuring out if I have asthma, especially after COVID. I've been struggling even more with allergy season and everything like that. I've noticed that the inhaler helped me so much, but then once allergies and pollen and stuff like that started coming into the scene, it's been a little bit tougher. But yeah, I'm gonna do some filming and then try to read or maybe watch a horror movie and play a little bit of Stardew. And then after that, I'm meeting up with Charles and his coworkers. We're gonna go to the bar and hang out. And yeah, that's kind of how our day is. But yeah, just wanted to give a little update, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye. Whew, so just got home from going and doing my asthma appointment. I am still needing to be on an inhaler. Yeah, so my next appointment will be 6 to 7 months from now. So Charles and I will go on hikes, and I'll kind of give him an update on how my emergency inhaler is working in terms of hiking and if it seems like I need to use it more. But I'm very hungry. Nuggie was a good girl. She's currently chewing a nice little treat that she has. But I'm excited to eat my wrap. I have some spicy pickles and I have a Poppy. And then I'm probably going to do some reading, so very excited. I am going to try to do some reading. I want to try to finish my arc. I really want to get started and make more of a dent on my TBR list. So I'm going to be working on reading To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. So far, I am enjoying it. I do like how there's a little bit of historicalness just with certain aspects of how people were treated back in the day, especially during wars. So I do like that piece. I do find it interesting. It's not necessarily something though that I go out of my way to pick up with a book, but I am enjoying it. I am intrigued, especially by these powers that certain characters have. Just kind of seeing what these Roman princes have in store for some of the characters and what they're going to do. Also seeing if the main character's sister and grandmother are okay and what her childhood friend really plans on doing to keep her safe and keep her family safe. So there's a lot of questions I kind of have in my head at the moment, but yeah, I'm gonna try to work on reading this. Hopefully I can make a little bit of a dent. I think I'm around 30% through the book at this point, and then I might do some gaming later tonight. I really would like to do some Stardew, also watch some horror movies, since I still have today off and I go back to work tomorrow. So I would like to make it the best of it that I can. I don't know if we're going to take Nugget on a walk after Charles gets home from work, because it was pretty windy when I was driving home, so we shall see. But yeah, I'd like to do some reading. I also painted my nails the Flight of the Monarchs color, and it's kind of like pinkish purple and orange shifting, and I do really like it, but I feel like I need to redo this nail. Not flipping you off, I can't flip you off, I don't have a middle finger, but I kind of feel like I need to redo this nail. It bubbled a little bit and it really bothers me, so I might redo that later tonight. I'd also like to kind of get started on my book journal. I've been forgetting what books I've read so far for the year of 2024, and I'd like to just put a little something in my journal to keep track of everything. I do have my Goodreads and Storygraph to show all my reviews and stuff, but I kind of want to see like all the images in one place and look at which books I read each month. I don't know, I like the visual idea of that, so we'll see how that goes. But if I do, I'll show it to you later. I'll also show you as I repaint this nail. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get back into this book. Wish me luck. I'm just gonna put a little bit of hair oil in. I've been doing this a little bit more often just because my scalp has been getting very, very itchy, and let it set for a bit. I just remembered that Charles is actually not gonna be home early like he normally is, so we probably won't go for a walk. So because of that, I'm gonna do this while I continue reading and letting it set. And then yeah, I'm just gonna go around like this. Just kind of part my hair in certain areas and just put the oil in. And also just kind of rub it in too at the same time. This is also, I think I got it off of Amazon. It's Miel Rosemary Mint Scalp and Hair Strengthening Oil, and it smells so good. Like really, really good. But I also really love the smell of mint. It's something I've always really enjoyed. So yeah, just gonna continue to part it in various areas and then rubbing it in. My mom used to actually do this to my hair. She either did it with like baby oil and would heat it up and put it on a cotton pad, or she would also do it with expired mayonnaise, and then my hair was so soft the days after. Like, the smell was awful. But yeah, the areas I'm focusing on mostly would be like right around here, like the top part of my head. I've just really noticed it's been getting really itchy lately. And I have trichotillomania, which, trigger warning for anyone that knows what that is. So having my scalp really bother me is just difficult, because then it makes it more difficult to avoid. So doing hair oil stuff like this can definitely help and make it a little bit more bearable for me. But yeah, usually with this, you might have to wash your hair multiple times because it will still be oily or greasy the next day.
I just got to 40% in To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. Also, there's so much cat hair on this. Ugh. It took a long time for me to get to the 40% mark. I was at the 30% mark when I made my little update, and then now I'm at the 40% mark. So far, it's interesting. I'm still kind of struggling in a way to get through it, but I feel like because I've been reading it so long, this must be more of a lengthy book, and so it's taking a while to like build things up, and I can't wait once I get to the part where it's hopefully gonna go quicker. It's sometimes a struggle for me to get that far with books when I'm just starting them. Anyway, it seems like I'm gonna say Ryu because there's some people that go and use her nickname, but Ryu is now with Antony, who is one of the younger princes, and he is basically trying to enlist her to help him with his plan to hopefully save his world and her world. And right now Ryu is not quite sure how much she can trust him, if some of his feelings are genuine with some of the sorrow, some of the guilt that he feels, but he's also asking her to kind of be a little bit more heartless, kind of be willing to unalive these people, even if she doesn't know their backstory or what they may have done wrong. And it's interesting. I'm not quite sure how I feel about Antony yet, so we'll see. I do like that there have been the use of like not only cultural sayings, but also sayings that I've used, like you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. That was referenced in one of the other chapters I read, and I don't know, it just kind of gave me a little bit of a small amount of joy, so I really enjoyed that. But I'm on chapter 19. We will see how long it takes me to get to the 50% mark. I feel like once I get to the 50 or 60% mark, everything's gonna go a lot faster, and I can't wait to get to that spot. So I'm finally at the 52% mark. I'm on chapter 24, and it's definitely getting interesting. And it seems like Ru Ying, I had to look up the pronunciation, because you know how you say a name a certain way when you're reading a book, and then you just can't say it out loud because you're not quite sure how to say it. So Ru Ying is apparently now working with Antony because he has promised that he will try to save not only his world but also her world. And although there are some despicable acts that they're doing, it's all for the greater good to help make things move along so that Antony's grandfather does not cause war to happen and this apocalypse to happen. He has to like make these decisions properly and have Ru Ying kind of eliminate these people that could sway things in the wrong direction, if that makes sense. So it's very interesting. I'm kind of wondering if there's this whole enemies to lovers thing, but although Ru Ying does not like these people from Rome that are terrorizing her people and creating a lot of great strife, she's also kind of seeming like she's gaining these feelings towards Antony. Yeah, I'm kind of getting like this whole enemies to lovers type of trope. I'm not quite sure if this is supposed to be a romance. I definitely know it's fantasy, like historical fantasy fiction in a way. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I need to go and wash my hair now because of all the oil in it and everything. And yeah, then after that I will be in my PJs and we will continue tackling this book because it would be nice to finish it today. I'd love to be able to finish it today because, as you can tell, there are a lot of other books I do need to read, so we'll see how that goes.
But yeah, I wanted to read this one because it had hearted just as a palette cleanser. I tend to head for these kind
I got a sleepy baby. He's just so tiny and purring away. I just realized that I never actually made an update after I finished To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. And I did really like the book. I loved a lot of the cultural aspects in it. And constantly trying to figure out, like, I guess, where the characters' feelings were and what she would ultimately decide to do in the end. The ending of the book definitely brought up some surprising things. And I did finish the book and rated it 4 stars. I rated it 4 stars. I really do want to read the next book when it eventually comes out, which will probably be a while because the first book just got released, I think, on the 16th. And so yeah, now I am reading a thriller called Voices in the Snow. I was like, wait, what is it called? Oh my gosh, he's just so cute and tiny. And he's just purring away. But yeah, so I am now reading a different book. I kind of haven't been in the mood to like do updates or anything like that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, with that being said, to continue talking to you soon. Sister is really sleepy. All right, bye. All right, so I am planning on doing a nice little reading vlog today. I think I've gotten through 9 books from my April TBR so far, but I do have some books that I'm really trying to get through. One of them being The North Tower. I am really struggling to get through this book. I think it's partially because I just really want to read thriller books right now. And I'm just not so much in the fantasy mood. And that's not to say that this book isn't good. It really is good. I'm just struggling. So one of the plans is to read that book, and then I think I have 1 arc left for my Kindle, and then I think I had the second book, Ruthless Vows, so for Divine Rivals, and then I also had a book by Rin Chupico. So we'll see if I can get those done. It is the 27th. We have a few days until the end of the month, so I have until Tuesday. Now, the reason why I'm trying to do a little bit of this reading vlog today is because Charles is currently at a counseling thing, so I figured it would be perfect. And part of the reason I thought this would be perfect, oh, Nugget, there's Nugget. Also, like all the books, I need to get a new bookshelf because I currently don't have enough room for a lot of the books. Nugs? That's what she has to say about it. But I thought it was going to be raining today. The rain was just going to provide the perfect atmosphere for reading these books. And then because it's Colorado, it turned into snow. So you might be able to see part of it. We got the cats over here. I was also looking at my Goodreads because I wanted to see how far I am, but yeah, turned into snow. It was raining this morning, and then the rain turned into snow. And then I also needed to film a Witchy Stuff Your Kindle video. Anytime there's a Stuff Your Kindle day, I usually do a video on TikTok, and then I've also been adding shorts to my YouTube to go and talk about some of the Stuff Your Kindle books that I found. And then I always put in the comments the website that you can go to if you'd like to see the full list. I usually just include the books that I found interesting or the covers I found interesting, but there definitely is a lot more books. And so yeah, if you want to go and check those out, I do have a video posted. I don't know if any of those will be available depending on when I do post this video. That was a chunk of the morning going and doing that. I still am working on my greens that I'm drinking. It's through Bloom. I think it's the mango flavor. Not sponsored. I just am trying to be healthier. I think I told y'all that I have asthma, and I got that from
COVID last year. So yeah, I am trying to go and be healthier. And so that is one of the things that I've been just including in my diet. I love fruits and vegetables, but I still feel like I don't get enough of them in my diet. So yeah, that's been one of the things that I've been having in the morning. And I love mangoes. So I figured the mango flavor would be good. And it actually is really good. I looked at some reviews before I ended up picking that flavor, and I was pleasantly surprised. It does taste like mango. I also really need to clean up my office. Like I said, I have a lot of books that I've been getting, and I don't have room on any of my bookshelves. So I need a new bookshelf. Charles will really like that. But yeah, so anyway, this is a very, 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 very long intro. But yeah, it is snowing currently, so I guess I'm gonna be doing cozy snow reading vlog type of stuff. And then also I need to keep an eye on my phone, because apparently with the snow that is coming out of nowhere, we are under a winter storm warning. Charles is not the best driver in the snow. I'm a South Dakota girl. You know, if you grew up in the Midwest, you know the snow that we have out there, so I grew up in that. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on my phone, see if I need to go and pick him up, which is totally fine. And until then, I will work on reading this. I think I'm at page 178, and there is over 400 pages in the book. So we'll see how far I can get, and I'll try to keep you all updated. All right, see you soon. Alright, so I am past page 200 now, and so far the book is really good. There's some questions that got answered. I realized I didn't really talk about the book much, so I should probably explain a little bit about it. So with this book, Charlie basically was found as a baby thrown into a trash can. So her entire life she's kind of been thrown into these, different living situations. She's been in a foster home. She's been living in a house with this one guy who's not the best and has physically hurt her, if she's disobeyed any of his rules or anything like that. And all the while, Charlie has been trying to control this thing about herself that she's not quite sure, the reasoning for it, and just has this feeling like she's always done things wrong. She's a danger to other people. She's a danger to people she cares about, things along those lines. So when one of her friends finally gives her an opportunity to leave that house she's in and live a better life, she's like, okay, maybe I'll go and do that. But during the process of it, basically these people try to attack her, and she lets out this big explosion because she has these powers that she's not quite sure about, and it ends up going and hurting everyone and killing everyone that was on that bus with her. And she gets, they call it ported, so it's kind of like fast traveling and teleporting type of thing. So she gets teleported to this school where the headmaster and a few other people are saying you have these extreme powers, you're apparently a royal, and we want to help you learn how to control it, and we promise that we'll take you back to your old life, to your friend, if you let us help you learn and teach you. So she agrees to go and enroll as a temporary student into the school, but also hides the fact that she's apparently the daughter of this really powerful guy, and she's considered a royal 9, and I think you can go up to a royal 10. So there's royals, there's common, there's something that starts with a D that I can't remember the name of, and then regulars, which are just normal humans that don't have any sort of powers. And royals apparently are the best of the best. They're the most powerful, And so Charlie, like I said, she's a royal 9, and she's the daughter of this one person. But to keep that all hidden, they basically make her like a common 6. And so she's just kind of going under the radar, seeming like one of the less powerful people. And then she's learning how to use her magic from this one guy, Master Kale. And gosh, he's a jerk. Like, I'd like to know the reasoning why he acts this way towards her and why he's so cold. I know he hates her father, but that's pretty much as I've gathered. So yeah, I'm halfway into the book. She's going to the school and like taking lessons and stuff, and by night she's taking lessons through Master Kale and learning how to fight and protect herself and control her magic. So yeah, it's very interesting, very intriguing. Like I said, it's a really good book, but I've just kind of been more on the thriller and horror kick. But yeah, it's definitely good. I'm intrigued in a lot of the things that are going on. I want to know more about Master Kale, even though he's, like I said, he's a jerk. He's so mean to Charlie, and he just absolutely dislikes her. But apparently it's because he was best friends with her dad. So there's just like a lot of backstory and things that we don't know of quite yet. But yeah, so that's where I am currently. I think I'm probably going to take a break and make some food. I also am dealing with a little bit of a headache, so I'm hoping that the food will help. And then maybe I might take another small break and play some Stardew and watch like a scary movie or something. We'll see. But yeah, that's where things are currently, and I will talk to you again soon. Alright, I'm back again. I wasn't very good about going and giving some updates, so I did finish the North Tower. The reason I didn't go and film my reaction, I think I went and said that my headache was getting worse as the day progressed, and so by the end of the day when I was going and reading the book, I just had a headache that turned into a migraine, and so I felt just very nauseous. So as soon as I finished the book, Charles let me have like a little bit of dinner just because like I needed to have something in my system before I took Advil. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. I don't feel like being awake any longer. And then this morning when we woke up, so Charles was actually supposed to have D&D, and then the session got canceled just because some of the other party members had some things pop up. And so right after he finished his morning coffee, we decided to give Nugget a bath, and I will go and insert some cute clips there, just with her after bath zoomies. I am allergic to animals, but normally I'm not too bad, especially with her, but I've noticed with certain things I am. So when we gave her a bath, I was in a long sleeve shirt, and then I had a mask on and everything. I was like, all right, let's do this. Because like with Nugget, we probably should have given her more baths, and we didn't. And so that was kind of on us doing that. But she was really, really good. She only tried to jump out of the bathtub once, and yeah, like she had her zoomies afterwards. And then Charles took a shower, and after that we took her on a really nice walk. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. So I know yesterday I said that it was snowing. It did eventually stop snowing, thankfully, before Charles came home. And then right after he came home, like around 30 minutes or so later, we got a full-out snowstorm again. But the lovely thing with Colorado is that the snow melts and is gone, and it's so, so nice.
we ended up going and taking Nugget on a walk, and then we just got home a little bit ago, and I was just kind of vegging out on some videos and stuff. But anyway, I should go and talk about the book, North Tower. So I finished it. It had a little over 400 pages. It was so good. So I know I was saying I was kind of struggling with reading it, and it wasn't because it wasn't a good book or anything. It's just because I've really been enjoying reading horror and thriller books lately. I mean, I don't know why I love that stuff so much, but it's so good. And I just find myself just constantly inhaling through those books, I guess, for lack of better words. I really pushed through reading this book, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing just how Michelle went and wrote her magic system. Like, there was magic users, there was like a magical school, and there was other schools that apparently were also magic related, but each one of these schools has something that they focus on more than the others. So kind of like college in a way, you know, like if you want to be really good in the medical field, you might want to go to one university over another just because of the opportunities that are given with that one, if that makes sense. And so she went and built a lot of these things, and I found it really fascinating. It was so good. I loved the characters, almost all of the characters. There was one character that I was mentioning before that was a complete jerk. He still seemed to be a complete jerk, but I kind of warmed up towards him towards the end. It was really great. And I've seen a few other people, because I always like looking at other people's reviews when I'm making my own, and I felt like I was on the same page as this other person that was doing a review where, you know, Michelle's magic system and just like the world she built, if anyone has been having withdrawals and like, you know, is conflicted over the series that She Who Shall Not Be Named made, I feel like this series would be a great world to dive into if that's something that you really enjoyed, because there is a magic aspect. There is also like these challenges and mysteries and stuff like that trying to go and solve. There's some characters that you really like, and then there's some characters that you don't like. So I think this series really did have a lot of those aspects in it. The second book did come out at the beginning of April. I can't remember the exact date, but this book series is going to be a trilogy. So there is more than one book, especially if you do love the first one. I'm definitely going to need to pick up the second book. I believe it's in hardback too, which is really nice. I will have to pick that up soon. I already did a purchase from Book Outlet, so I might have to wait a little bit into May before I purchase any more books. But yeah, so that's kind of where things are. I finished that book. I think I'm gonna start reading The Sacrifice. Personally, I think that for some of these books that I had on my April TBR, they might kind of go into May for my TBR there. I do need to go and make a list of books that I'd like to read. I'm trying to decide if I want to film the monthly wrap-up and just end with 10 books and finish with the North Tower, or if I really do want to go up to April 30th. I'm sorry that I keep switching. I just didn't really want to go and set up my camera to a tripod, so my arms are weak and I'm just bouncing back and forth between each one. So yes, this was a wrap-up of my entire video. I am refilming the ending again because I kind of decided after looking at all the footage and going and editing that I didn't think I had enough to do a stereotypical reading vlog. So yeah, this is gonna be, like I said at the beginning of the video, more of a vlog in general. I know that this month was Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month. I have a lot of ideas to go and film for this month in general, but we are at the 28th day of the month of April, and I found that it's really hard for myself to try to make myself film certain types of videos, especially if I'm not in the mood for it. So these ideas that I have, I still do plan on filming them. It just won't happen during this month like I originally hoped. So there are little snippets of videos that I filmed throughout this month. I might have posted them on my TikTok, on my Instagram. They're just kind of spread all over the place, but I promise that throughout the rest of this year you will get to see a lot of the stuff I did plan on filming. One of the things I also noticed for myself was that in the past years, I have definitely felt a lot of burnout when it comes to Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month, especially since it falls close to the month of May, which is a very difficult month for me. So I noticed that in the past years, I felt a lot of burnout, especially going and talking about this important day in areas where people didn't seem to talk about it, not only because they weren't aware of it, but it was like other subjects were kind of taking priority. And I just kind of always felt like I was screaming at a wall, just trying to go and get this representation out, getting this subject across, going and talking about it. But I felt like I was the only one doing it. And when that's the case, it is really, really difficult to continue sticking with it and talking about those subjects. So although it was very important for me, I found myself drifting away from the Twitter space and the Twitch space to go and preserve my own creative energy, my own mental health, and avoid that burnout. And, you know, all these subjects that are talked about throughout the month of April, they're all very important. I don't know, it's hard for me to fully put it into words because I don't want to say it incorrectly, but I found that, you know, going on Instagram, there is a lot of people in the limb loss and limb difference community, and so it is just a lot more uplifting in that space and feeling like more of a community, more people talking about those subjects that are very important. And it's not just one subject you're constantly seeing, it's all these subjects in general and the importance with them. So yeah, if you are hoping to see more things from me regarding the subject, I'm sorry if I kind of let you down. I do plan on still recording a lot of the stuff that I have planned. It's just I'd like to organically go and talk about this stuff and film it when I had the creative energy for it, and I just kind of felt like escaping into books more than anything this month. So I mostly reposted a lot of things that I saw other people talking about that I felt like they needed to be heard. They made very good points. Throughout the rest of this year, you're going to see stuff from me regarding that subject, just not all at once in one month like I originally planned. So I hope that's okay. And I know this was a really long spiel for how to go and wrap up this video, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video, this little chat with me, especially at the end, just kind of wrapping things up and explaining where I've been on the fact of Limb Loss and Limb Difference Awareness Month. And yeah, with that being said, I will end this video here, and I can't wait to talk to you all soon. I also want to remind you, you are worthy, you are capable of following your dreams, and don't let those dreams go.